Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at chapter 27 of Peopleware, which is called Open Kimono. Why it's called that is somewhat of a mystery to me, and the idiom is, to say the least, out of date. I assume in this context the author is meant to endorse an air of transparency and trust between the members of the team. The chapter starts out with an assertion that creating a gelled team is somewhat of a challenging proposition, and one that to a large extent is up to chance. It's hard to really know how a new hire will gel with the rest of the people before working with them for some time, and it's hard to get an existing team to gel if it isn't doing so naturally already. But with those things having been said, it is certainly the case that some managers are more likely to get teams to gel than others, and this chapter is about some common characteristics shared by those folks. The first characteristic is in depending on the competence of your subordinates. There's a phenomenon where the victories and losses of an individual contributor reflects on his manager. When you hire someone, you should accept up front that sometimes he will do well and sometimes he will do poorly, and in both situations you'll be taking the credit and blame for it. Hire well so you can make peace with that. The second characteristic of managers that want their teams to gel is to send them far away from the oversight of the office environment. If you as a manager have the budget to do a team retreat, send your people away, but stay at the home office yourself. Tell them to work on a given project and that you'll give a call or text if something urgent comes up, and then do your best to make sure that that doesn't happen. Visual supervision, such as looking over their shoulders, for knowledge workers like engineers doesn't really make sense. It's intimidating and distracting and more suited to prisoners than trusted colleagues. If people see that you trust them out of the office, they'll relax and work together more smoothly, and without the interruption of the rest of the company knocking on their proverbial doors, they'll be free to focus on each other and building a great product. The next characteristic of managers that want their team to gel is to reward insubordination that has led to success. The authors talk about the concept of secret projects happening despite them being officially canceled by upper management. If a manager is at least not insecure enough to realize when he has made a bad call in shutting down a project that would end up being good, then he should reward the success even though it is tacitly admitting that the wrong call was made to pull the plug. It's also worth noting that loyal individual contributors will want to make their managers look good, even when the manager makes a wrong call about killing an initiative. One suggestion offered in the service of this open kimono style of management is to give low-level employees a say in team formation as well as hiring. Empowering them in these two ways has positive consequences. The first is that people gravitate towards people they'd like to work with and end up forming teams with those people. The second is that during the interview process, they'll have the opportunity to pick candidates that they would like to work with. An example used in this chapter is of a hiring group that opted not to give an offer to a candidate based on a perceived lack of a sense of humor for the team's inside joke. Personally, I think this is sort of unfair, but then again, perhaps I wouldn't have liked to work on that team if they are so filtering people in that manner. At the end of the chapter, the authors suggest that top-down management be kept to a minimum and rather to be allowed to flow in all directions from all members of the team. By doing this, the team will have more opportunity to gel with each other. That's all for this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it and found it thought-provoking, and I'll see you all in the next one.